Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley Showcase, weekend style showcase. I've got the new Dream Customs JCCS mat out. We're going to create a car show with some of the models from my collection. I asked for some viewer requests for videos a while ago, and one that came in quite a bit that I think is a great topic are one and dones. What hit wonders? The models from the Hot Wheels world that have been done once and then vanished for whatever reason. And I started diving into this because I think it's an absolutely fantastic topic. I started diving into this and found that there are a billion of them. The Hot Wheels Wiki has a list of them. There's a lot of character cars and unlicensed stuff that were kind of made for very specific reasons. But there's a lot of significant models that, licensed models, quite a few that are in my collection, and I only collect licensed stuff, that for whatever reason have kind of come and gone. And we're going to showcase some of them today. In fact, after I looked into this, I actually found that I have enough to do this video in 3 parts. So this is part 1, 10 models. We'll do a part 2 with 10 more models, and then a part 3 with even more. And we'll be showcasing these. This will be pretty fun to do. Now, let me give you the criteria that I used. When I say one and done, some people it's only one time the casting was made. It was used absolutely positively once and then vanished. I'm going to stretch it just a little, only because there are some models that were used and then recolored and then vanished. So if they were done in a series and maybe there were a couple of different colors done, I will count it. These are also models that it's been a few years, that maybe it's obviously not something done this year or last year that we'll definitely see again. Or we assume we'll see again. These are models that have been gone for quite a while and show no signs of returning. So let's just get right to it. That's a 2-minute introduction. And let's start with an obvious one. These are models from my collection that I think are really, really cool. Models that I think are worth having in your collection. And we start with this. This is the Ferrari California 250 from Hot Wheels Entertainment, done quite a few years ago. I don't remember what year it was done. But Ferrari 250 California from Ferris Bueller's in the Entertainment series. The reason why we haven't seen it again, well, that's pretty obvious. Soon thereafter, Hot Wheels lost the Ferrari license, and we haven't seen it again. If they get the Ferrari license back, will we see this car again? Absolutely. It's positively gorgeous. This one done in red with the lace wheels. Classic Ferrari. I don't have to talk about the context in Ferris Bueller's, although we do know that was not actually a real Ferrari, right? It was a modified one in the movie, but this one is based on the 250, and if Ferrari ever returns and we see Car Culture Series, this casting will undoubtedly return. Hopefully they still have the tool, but that's an easy one, right? It's a one and done for obvious reasons. Maybe one day it returns. All these castings could return. You never know what they have in their tool bank, and if there's something that will ever come back. All right, next one. I had to pick out this one. This is a JDM model. This is the Toyota 2000 GT Roadster convertible. Obviously, this one is based on the standard 2000 GT. I pulled this one out from Toyota. You can have a look at this one. Obviously, it's a classic Japanese car, kind of considered the first Japanese sports car or supercar. Highly collectible. Junimai designed this for a racing series that never was, and then it debuted in the as a super treasure hunt, right, in the basic range, and then we've seen it since. But that's not the car we're talking about. We're talking about this one. This one was also done for entertainment, and this one is pretty explainable as a one and done as well. This was done for James Bond. This car was used in one of the James Bond movies, and the only reason it's a roadster, Toyota never intended for this car to be a convertible. The only reason it's a roadster is because he couldn't fit in it. His head was he was too tall. And so they turned it into a roadster. I assume Toyota wanted this car to be used, or they did or something. They basically sawed off the top, turned it into a roadster, and that's what you have. Now, this was used in entertainment. I guess there's a chance that it will return to entertainment, but my other thinking is that Toyota might say, hey, this is not a real car. We'll do it for James Bond, so we'll do the white version. I don't know if Hot Wheels would ever be able to do it in a different color. It would be kind of cool if they did, but that is the Roadster. One and done. We haven't seen it in quite a few years. Speaking of convertibles from entertainment, how about this one? I had to think if this one hasn't been done. This is the Plymouth GTX, the Plymouth Belvedere GTX, also from entertainment. Tommy Boy was the movie, right? This is the car that I think Chris Farley and David Spade were driving when the deer woke up, ripped it to shreds. This casting has been done once. It has not been done since. They actually made this look like a soft top. It's actually a full die-cast model that they painted. You know, they molded the roof into it to make it look like a convertible, and then painted it in that kind of matte black. But no, we haven't seen this one again. It might be one that we see return, but I would love to see it in. This would be a perfect car culture model, some sort of muscle, some sort of I don't know. You could see it done in all kinds of different series. Boulevard, maybe. This is one that I just have to assume the tool is somewhere, and have to assume that there's nothing that says they can't do a Plymouth these days, so it's not a licensing thing. But that's only been done once, and there it is. It's a really good cast, and I think some of you are going to see these and say, "Man, if I don't have these, I definitely want them," and you should. They vary in cost too. Some are really easy to get. You can get them for under $10 on eBay. Others you might have to pay through the nose, but I haven't checked on some of those. How about this one? Going over to Boulevard, I pulled out 3 cars from Boulevard that are one and dones. This one's an interesting one. Looks familiar, right? Looks like the Batmobile, the classic TV series Batmobile, and in fact, the classic TV series Batmobile is based on this, the Lincoln Futura. This was a car that was done maybe for like World's Fair or something like that. I don't know for sure, but it's a concept by Lincoln on what they thought the future would look like. We should, at this point in 2022, should be driving cars with bubbles on top, right? Or flying. But this was Lincoln's take on future cars. And was it George Barris? Was that his name? Who did the Batmobile for the original TV series? Well, he took a Lincoln Futura and modified it into the Batmobile because he thought it just looked cool and it's made sense and it's become an iconic car. And obviously Hot Wheels did it for the Batmobile, and then for Boulevard said, let's turn it into the actual concept. We've only seen it once. It's got all those details that the Batmobile has, but it's obviously been modified to be a replica of the actual Lincoln Futura. And if you're a Batmobile collector, like that kind of stuff, this one is a very cool car to have. I definitely wanted it from my original Boulevard collection. All right, another one. This is one of my all-time favorites from Boulevard. There's 2 right now. I know you're thinking of one. It's coming. It's coming. It's become one of the most famous one-and-dones. But so is this. This is the Ford Mustang II. Now, if you think of the Ford Mustang II, it's kind of been considered kind of one of the weak links in the Mustang lineage. It's not a great looking car. It's smaller and it just doesn't have the same oomph that Mustangs before and after it have had. But this one's even modified with this funny spoiler, this all the big front kit, the big spoiler in the front. It's just and this is actually based on a modified Mustang II. You can look it up. If you look at Mustang II, Google it, and you scroll down, you'll see this car. I don't remember who built it, but they actually did this one. Now, I don't know if Ford didn't like it and they've canned it. I don't know if Hot Wheels kind of said, what do we do? This thing was a major peg warmer. No one liked it. But it kind of has that ugly car charm at this point. And kind of a unique, if you're collecting Boulevard, a unique piece to have. And I kind of like it as a one and done. I don't know if I'd like to see this return in different colors. This one, and it's just ugly yellow and orange and blue. I don't know. I like it as is. This one, I don't need to see again. I just like this one. All right, you know. When you're talking one and dones, the Vector V8 Twin Turbo is one of the all-time classics. Now, this one, I think I know why this was a one and done. They did this one for Boulevard. Came in, wasn't particularly popular because I think a lot of people didn't really know what this thing was. But, it's an 80s classic supercar that I think Doug DeMuro has done a feature on. It's got some, it's got some cool, it's got some cool vibes at this point that if Hot Wheels wanted to bring it back, I think we'd all welcome it, especially in car culture, if there was some theme on kind of interesting cars or something like that. Here's the issue. I think licensing, from what I've heard from the Mattel folks, licensing on this one was a total nightmare. And I don't think there's any reason for that to change at this point. So I just don't know if we're ever going to see it again. Hopefully we do, because that one would be cool. I'd love a white one. Love a white one. All right. Here's one that I actually debated whether to put in. But it seems to be in the one and done category, at least for now. And you guys might agree or not agree. But what has happened to RWB? This is the RLC version with the opening trunk and the opening doors. Incredibly cool, detailed model, incredibly collectible. RWBs are super cool. People love them. People went crazy when Hot Wheels announced that they were going to be doing the RWB. They did it not only for car culture, but then they also did it for, for RLC. Brendan Vituski took the casting, modified it, add all these opening parts, put in a bunch of really, really cool details. But if you look at all the RLC castings that have been released in the last few years, every single one of them has returned in a second or third or even fourth color. Even those from last year we're already seeing appear this year. But I don't know what's going on with the RWB. Now, I think I understand. So here, I actually pulled out the two. There was this first version done for the silhouette version of Car Culture. And then there was the Team Transport version, which was released, a few months, maybe about 6 months afterwards, which is very cool in purple. But we haven't seen that since, and you'd have to think that there would be a million reasons for Hot Wheels to want to put it in any sort of mix. We haven't seen it. I have no idea if they have intentions of bringing it back, but I think it's a complicated license to get. When you think about RWB, you think about Porsche, you think about what Porsche, the RWB basically takes Porsches and does what they want with them, whether Porsche likes it or not, right? That's kind of the whole point of RWB and any sort of modified car from that way. So trying to get that done, if Porsche says no, they can't do them. If RWB says no, they can't do it. And there's probably other licensing complications they have to do as well. And maybe right now it's just not going to happen. So I wonder if we're going to see it again. But right now, this one is a one and done. All right, next one. Going back to 2008, Modern Classics. Another one that could be converted into a premium casting and would be super, super cool. This is the Chevy Nova from the first Modern Classics that Junimai did. This is where the 83 Silverado debuted. There's a bunch of other cool castings that came out from this particular line that was canceled about 2/3 of the way through, I think. This Nova actually came in two colors. I only have one. It's the 1970 Nova, Chevy Nova. June took a Nova, slammed it. It has a very modern look to it. And if you just think about this thing with Real Riders, the first Modern Classics had the OH5. I think all of them had OH5 wheels on them, kind of done as a modern take. But this one in chrome, I think the other one was maybe blue and orange. But this one in chrome is clean, it's cool. And just imagine with big fat Real Riders in the back and in the front, the small ones in the front, how cool this would be in car culture. I don't know if this tool, if Chevy didn't like it or if this tool just basically got lost or damaged or something, but it just seems like this is a casting. Dumas wrote about it on lamlagroup.com not too long ago, and it just seems like a casting that would be most welcome back. All right, this is actually among many collectors, I think, a very famous one and done. It's the Maserati Quattroporte. I hope I'm saying that right. From 2004. This thing stood out, and for two reasons back in 2004. Number one, Hot Wheels was not doing a lot of European cars. They were not doing hardly any, if any, Japanese cars. It was almost, in that like early 2000s to mid 2000s, it was all about muscle cars. There was the occasional Subaru and a couple other things, but they were not doing anything other than muscle at the time. And there's some weird stuff like the hard-nosed stuff and, I don't know, some really weird tune stuff. But this one looked very different because it was done realistically. It was done cleanly. The castings, like, if they were to do it now, it would look I think it would look better. There's some details here. There's some lack of detail on this casting that leaves a little to be desired. But it was there, and then it was gone, and we've never seen it again. It was also an epic peg warmer. I think Hot Wheels collectors at the time, Maseratis were not their thing. And they were doing Ferraris at the time, right? But Maseratis were not their thing. And this thing just, no one cared. And it hung. I remember going into drugstores like 4 or 5, 6 years later and seeing it hanging. I have an honorary one and done, even though it wasn't a one and done. It was done 2 times, but it's also the Maserati. And I had to bring this out. It's the MC12, which is a legendary sports car that Maserati did. And this thing also, clearly Hot Wheels lost the Maserati license. We've never seen a Maserati since. Mini GT's got a Maserati in the works right now, which is cool. So we know that they're coming to 164 again, but it's been a while. And Hot Wheels did the Quattroporte, and then they did this MC12. They did a mystery version as well, and that is gone. So I don't know if the Maserati license will ever come back, but I just had to pull this one out as an honorary one and done because it was only done twice. I think there's a faster than ever version of this one, but the 10 spokes, it's a really cool, well done model. And look at how they did the deco on it. It's really great. But it's gone. And while it wasn't a one and done, it gets the honorary status. Last one. There were 3 colors of this one done, but comes from the legendary Speed Machines line. When I say Speed Machines, and there's so many people that love to see that return, the Ferrari 599XX may be the most legendary one. There's the Lamborghini Murcielago that has since come back, I think, in 1 or 2 versions. There's a lot from Speed Machines. The Bugatti Veyron is a real popular model, goes for a high penny. But there's one that's a one and done that is very baffling. And I'm not saying it yet because I want to see if you guys can come up with it. Do you remember the Audi TTS? I don't know what happened with this one. It seemed like maybe they lost the Audi license, but it's back with a vengeance right now, right? The Audi is coming out. We've had the wagon. We've had we just had the rally cars. I just learned of an Audi coming out in 23 that I'll preview very soon. What happened to the TTS? Got some strange lighting here, but this is there was 3 colors, and this casting is tight. It is awesome. The TTS is obviously the upgraded Audi TT. This was maybe the 2nd generation TT. Maybe the first, I don't know. But this casting has a perfect stance, perfect wheels, all these details. The grill is kind of has done it in a really cool way with that kind of like big Audi grill. There was the burnt orange, there's this blue, which probably is the best version. Boy, the lighting is bad, but not on the turntable, it's fine. They did the accelerator wheels, like the Comold wheels. They did them all the same, I think. Well, I guess they had some chrome lipped, and then maybe the orange was a little different. But they did this blue version, and I mean, look how clean it is. Look how cool this casting is, how well done it is. And then last was this silver version. 3 colors. It did warm the pegs, but all the Speed Machines did. There were very few Speed Machines that were super popular at the time. I mean, no one was really, like I said, I told you, like, European cars were not a thing. And that was the tail end of that. And then things changed during the 2010s to 20s. Things changed almost completely. It went from muscle to JDM and Euro. But I don't know what happened with this TT. It's a really, really cool casting. It'd be great as a basic. It'd be great as a premium. But I don't know where it went. There you go, guys. Those are the first 10. I've got many more to do. I think this is a fun weekend feature. You guys tell me what you think. Which one of these do you have that you want? There might be a few here. Vector is a must-have, I think. The RWB is. Hopefully we see that again. That's probably the most, like, fluid one and done. We may see those again. But all these other castings, I don't know what happened. I hope they come back. Or if they do, or if they don't, that's fine too. But of all these, do you have them in your collection? Do you want them? I want to know. Put it in the comments down below. Which ones of these do you like the most? And do you feel like, A, you want to see back? B, if they're not, which ones of these are you going to put in your collection if you don't have them? Thanks, everybody. Bye.